What's up, guys? Just giving you an update on my 2017 Ram Bighorn. I did a Ready Lift leveling kit. Probably can't see it in there, but I'm also running fuel rims and Toyo tires. These are 35-1250s. So I started debadging the truck. I got a little stubby antenna here. I'll get these soon. My thumbs and index fingers are pretty tore up from peeling all the sticker residue off. I got the back done. I just want that sterile look. So I'm not sure if you can tell in the video. It's pretty level. I think it's got a 1-inch rake. I am going to do a full suspension upgrade. I'm going to do Spawn upper and lower control arms, and I'm going to do a Ready Lift upper control arm with ball joint, just for the fact that everything I've read, the ball joints tend to pop out on the Rams. So I didn't do anything too upgradable to performance. I did a drop-in K&N filter and a direct replacement straight pipe. I forget the brand, but it's a no cutting, no welding. It's pretty loud. As far as the inside, I didn't do anything on the inside. Probably will leave it be. But I got these rims and tires about a week ago. I think I put about 200 miles on them. I just broke 2,000 miles on this truck, and it looks like I'm getting about 13.2. And that's not driving carefully. That's kind of driving kind of carelessly with the gas pedal. So I know lots of folks, this is my second Ram, and a lot of folks want to upgrade their exhaust system. So I'm going to try and get to an area where I can hopefully let you guys hear this exhaust. So let me get my seatbelt on. Just so you guys aren't hearing the seatbelt ding over and over. I did open my back window. I don't know how much wind you're gonna hear if I open up my side ones, but I'll probably do that here. But anyway, I really like this direct straight pipe replacement. It is loud, and you do get used to it. I'm sure the neighbors don't. They probably hate it because I start my truck about 5:30 every morning. But in echo mode, it doesn't sound terribly bad. I know a lot of folks are always trash talking that. It sounds like shit or a little ricer or something, but I think it's something that you get used to. So the direct replacement is very smooth sounding. It's not like overly raspy, and it doesn't pop. Kind of like maybe a poorly installed exhaust system, or depending on what kind of muffler you went with on those ones that pop. Now, I've owned Chargers, another Ram, and I've upgraded both of those with exhaust and intakes. And I didn't want to do a full K&N intake on this truck. I researched everything, and I couldn't I didn't want to spend $250, $300 for something that's just going to make it sound better. And I'm probably not going to tune this Ram. I tuned my last one. I had a lot of more upgrades to it, and it was nice. It was a beautiful truck. I'd put a lowering kit on it, And I lived on the West Coast at the time, and I got relocated to the Midwest. And it was a street truck, so it wasn't four-wheel drive, and it was had a 2.4 Beltec lowering kit on it. So the snow that we get out here, that truck would have been as useless as anything. So I ended up getting a Chrysler 200C, and it's all-wheel drive, and huge mistake. I should have traded it in for another Ram, because I drove that thing for about a year and a half, and it was a nice car. It was fast, accommodated all the upgrades very nicely. So I'm about to make this right here, and hopefully you guys can hear the exhaust pretty good. Keep in mind, this camera is not going to do any justice for the sound quality of this exhaust. This exhaust is loud, and it definitely turns a lot of heads, especially at stoplights and stop signs. So another thing, when I got those fuel rims, I got it from I don't know if I should say the name. I don't want to give them a bad name. They're actually really awesome guys to work with. But I was asking them the offset of the rim of the wheel to make sure that there would be no rub or anything on my truck, and so they were like, yeah, your truck can run a 35, you have a leveling kit. I went, so it took them about an hour and a half to install everything, because they had to pull the TPS sensors out of my stock wheels. And anyway, there was rub, and it was rubbing on the upper control arm, and it was rubbing on the sway bar or whatever, and then also on the fender. So I took it back, and I'm like, hey, this thing's rubbing, what can you guys do about it? And they're like, they apologized, they made it right. They were like, oh, we should have put a spacer in there. So they did, they made it right. They took my truck in and put a 1/4-inch spacer in it. So it rubs just a little bit on like the fender well, and that's fine, it's plastic. Everyone's like, oh, you should trim it, and I'm like, no, fuck it, leave it alone. So as long as it's not rubbing on any control arms or anything metal that's gonna wear that tire out, I'm fine with it. So I'm happy with the setup. Of course, what comes with bigger tires is less gas mileage, and I'm probably not gonna see a 16 or 17 mile per gallon unless I'm running a straight freeway and highway. But I do a lot of in-town and city driving, and looks like I'm gonna be around the 13.5 miles per gallon. So, but I did other little upgrades. I did tint all the way around. I did 5% all the way around, even over the factory tint in the back windows. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave this be. From my understanding, from what I read, is the 2017 Rams, that if you want to tune them, you have to buy a whole new PCM. So I'm not even trying to spend all the money to go into that, because I do want to beef up my suspension, just more for peace of mind for me. I want everything that I've read. It sounds like Ram doesn't make the best front end, so especially when you start modifying stuff on the front end. Now, I did research for about 2 weeks on what type of leveling kit to go with, and I've read nothing but horror stories of ball joints popping out, whole front ends being needed to be replaced after 5,000 miles because you're changing the geometry of the front end with 2+ inches on a leveling kit. So I went to I found a suspension shop here in Omaha, Nebraska, and it's called Torque Motorsports, and these guys are really quick. They're really fast, and they take the time to explain everything to you. And they weren't trying to push a product on me or anything, but what they had in stock was Rough Country, and it was a 2.5-inch leveling kit. And everything I've read, anything above 2 inches you're pretty much in the red zone for having to start replacing upper and lower ball joints, CV joints. So I went back and started researching more stuff, and I came across this company called Hellbent Steel, and I've read nothing but positive reviews about it. I went back to the shop and I'm like, hey, have you guys heard of this company? And he was like, no, we haven't. And, you know, of course, like any other business, they're like, if we don't buy the product, if you don't get it through us, we can't warranty it. We'll put it in for you, but you drive off the lot and something breaks, like that's all on you. So then I was, you know, like, well, what would you recommend? And he recommended Bilstein's adjustable shot or struts. And I was like, well, this is a brand new truck. I don't want to replace something that's not broken, especially a strut. And he was like, well, ReadyLift, if you want to pay the money, ReadyLift makes a 2-inch spacer. It's a one piece, there's no welds or anything, it's a billet aluminum. So we went with that, and with the part and install, I think they had it like installed in like 35 minutes. It was super crazy fast. So I got all that done for about $400, and that was with alignment. So, and the geometry of the upper control arm still looks like a 90-degree angle. Looks pretty good still. So if you're looking to level your truck, I can't believe how much goes into that just for making a 1.5 to 2 inch difference of how much that can screw up your front end. So just research something before you buy something. Don't always go the cheapest. Like I said, I've read lots of reviews on different types of leveling kits, and it's just, oh my God, how are these companies still in business? You know, with just, now then again, it might not be the product. It may have been how it was installed, who installed it, and how the owners of the vehicle are operating their truck on a daily basis. You know, are they jumping it? Are they extreme 4x4? You know, I don't know. They didn't go into that, but I know it was changing the geometry and all the angles of everything your front end from factory settings, which makes sense of, you know, things not lasting as long as they should. So but yeah, probably in before summer. It's November 18th 2017 now, so before next summer I'm probably gonna have that rear end all beefed up, and my front end a little bit more beefed up with the upper control arms, and I don't know, we'll see what else I can throw in there. It's a tough truck. I love it. I love Rams. A lot of people hate on them. I just don't. Here, let's hear that exhaust. The thing is just so smooth. Now, if you're like, I've stood behind the truck on a cold start, and it's loud. It's like thunder, like right next to your ear loud. So and I happen to live in a state where there's no emissions, and I still have the cats and the resonators on near the tips. Everything I've read on folks that did this type of exhaust, they recommend leaving that stuff on there, and I did. So I think it's plenty loud, it's plenty smooth, it sounds great. Like I said, you turn a lot of heads at stoplights and stop signs. So and the cool thing about this direct replacement is it's 3 bolts. So I kept my factory muffler just in case I have to go, something happens to the truck or whatever, and I got to throw it back on there, take it back to the dealership. But then again, the Magnuson Warranty Act, they have to prove that this part is the cause of any failure of whatever happened. So I'm not too concerned about it. But at the beginning of the video, I showed you that this was the Bighorn. I started stripping all the decals off of it. I like that look, and I'm in the Midwest, so probably 70% of everyone out here drives a truck. Probably not that many, but all you see is Rams. You see Fords, Rams. Don't see as many Chevys, but I definitely see a lot of Ford and Rams out here. So I'm gonna take us on the freeway and see if we can open this up just a little bit more. So for anyone looking for an exhaust, I want you to hear this, and I'm on my iPhone, so I don't know how well it's gonna pick up. But so you can kind of hear it kicking down into echo mode. So I'm doing 52 and I can't hear anything. I can't hear my tires, can't hear my exhaust. It's quiet as it was when it was factory. Oh yeah, so when I bought this truck, this was the showroom truck, and it came with the side steps, mud flaps, and it's a tonneau cover. Not sure how well you can see that, but the is a Mopar tonneau cover, and I think it was 10 grand off any Ram on the lot, even in their showroom. There was two Rams on their showroom. So the other one was a Laramie. It was this maroon color. I've never seen a color like this. Might have just looked different to me because it was inside, but I really wanted that one. And the only reason I didn't get it was it said their Uconnect touchscreen wasn't nav capable, and I wanted a navigation in my truck. So this one did, and it was only a $2,000 difference. And that one had a sprayed bed liner, but this one had a tonneau cover. So, but I was happy with the purchase. The Laramie, of course, is a step up from the Bighorn, probably in a lot of aspects. For one, it was leather interior, had a little bit more electronics. But the 200C that I traded in for this truck, it was their top of the line. It was fully loaded, and it had nothing but problems. Electrical problems, motor problems, tranny problems, cooling problems, and I was amazed how much they gave me for that 200. So anyway, I got this truck for about $40,000. I think it was like $38,900 or something, and they gave me $20,000 for my 200. So and that 200 was a 2016. I was the original owner on that. Same dealership I bought it from. Back in February, was basically in their shop for about an entire month. So it was coming up on its, I drive a lot, so it was coming up on its 36,000 mile warranty. And so I was getting a little freaked out, and the salesman that sold me that car still worked there, and he was like, hey, you want to get back into a Ram? And I'm like, fuck yeah, like, what do you got? And he was like, well, it's 10 grand off any lot, so this is where we're at. But anyway, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube which are really helpful. I'm probably babbling on a little too much. A bunch of fucking idiot drivers around here, never use their goddamn blinkers or anything. And I was gonna make this video earlier, and I'm not sure if you heard that kid across the street mowing his goddamn fucking lawn. It's fucking November 18th. Your lawn hasn't grown in 2 fucking months, and you're out there mowing a goddamn lawn. Like, what are you mowing? So, it's definitely a weird area out here. I'm not from the Midwest, so I'm sure I stick out like a sore thumb also. I get a lot of weird looks. But anyway, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube that are really helpful, especially when making decisions on what you want to do to your vehicle, and I hope that some of this helped you guys out. It was more of kind of a show and tell, and a lot of the stuff that I upgraded was stuff because of videos that I watched on YouTube. And like I said, I'm probably not going to do anything else to it besides the suspension upgrade. And I definitely want this truck to last until it just doesn't start anymore. I've bought plenty of vehicles in the last 6 years where I need to stop. So that'll probably change in 2 years when the 2019 Ram comes out. I really love the Ram. I love the look of it. I love the Hemi. I don't care what anybody says. This 5.7 is a beast, and there's just so many upgrades you can do to it. So you don't hear anything about. I don't hear anything about Chevys anyway. I don't like the way they look. I think they're too boxy. I don't think they've kept up with the times. Ford. I used to be a Ford guy. I used to rebuild Mustangs motors like 5.0s, and I don't think you could compare to that 5.0 motor that they used to have. I don't know about the newer one, but I just see so many recalls on the Ford F-150. I like the look of them. I think they look great. I won't ever buy a Ford. Somebody bought one for me for a gift, I'd turn around and sell it and buy another Ram. So, and you know what? I know Rams got their problems too, but you just got to pick and choose. Nothing's perfect, just like anything else in life. So, so yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, telling me to shut the fuck up, talk too goddamn much, nobody wants to see your ugly mug, but you got a cool looking truck, that's cool too. So I just pulled back home. Oh yeah, here's one little thing. I don't know, I got this sticker off eBay. It's kind of cool. So anyway, when I put it on, it was straight, so I'm assuming this thing in here turns somehow, but it won't let you manually turn it. So if I have like passengers, they're kind of probably thinking like, damn, this dude just like threw that on there and didn't even like look to see if it was even. So anyway guys, hope you liked the video. Take care.